2.3 Natural and Artificial Software of Homo sapiens. A human and a computer have a similarity. Both do not work without software. A computer without software is a useless pile of metal. A human without software is a body, life in which is supported by automatic physiological processes, but he will never function like a human. Today, almost everyone is familiar with computer software, but not many are familiar with human software. Even though, as it turned out, human software is the soul, which people were looking for so hard for centuries but could not find. Human software can be natural, as well as artificially created by people themselves. Nature gives software to every person from birth as a base, without which any biorobot, including a human, cannot live. Without even coming close to that, natural software is provided by nature to every person from birth. Civilization came up with a lot of modifications of artificial software. People had to live somehow, since by nature it is arranged so that a person cannot live without a program at all, and the catalog human population, where every person could find out his natural program, was lost. However, the trouble is that artificial software, meaning software invented by people, differs from natural in the same way as plastic apples differ from natural apples. That is not surprising, because even at the current level of technological development of this civilization, a human is not able to create anything that would be equal to natural quality of that. What he creates is always worse. Let's go back to plastic apples. Such a diet quickly leads to death of a human. In this civilization, in the best case, people live for several decades instead of centuries, as they could live according to studies done by physiologists. In essence, life based on artificial software that replaces the natural program of an individual turns him into a living corpse while he is still alive. Life on artificial software leads to colossally rapid deterioration of the entire human psychophysiology, premature aging, and early death. Only a few % of the potential that is implanted in a person, and which would allow him to heal and rejuvenate himself, gets realized, and a person has nothing else left but to die from diseases and old age. And during the time period between birth and death, for the most part, a person's life is difficult, full of problems. Is it not this process and result that are described in mythologies of almost all nations of the world? A shift from the Golden Age, in which all people lived for many years, happily and without problems, to the Iron Age, tainted and cruel, when men never rest from labor and sorrow by day, and from perishing by night. 1. Artificial software, like hydrochloric acid, corrodes a person from the inside. As it is known, concentrated hydrochloric acid turns contents of a stomach into a bloody mess. A chemical burn of this kind does not always end instantaneously. Sometimes doctors save a person by removing the insides, but a person lives the rest of his life severely disabled and dies before his time. And at any stage a person is in hellish pain because of this. Is this not the same process that we can observe around us? Life in misery, and then death in 100% out of 100 cases. No person in his lifetime is able to fall outside the scope of his natural program without damage to himself. And everything that Homo sapiens try to make out of themselves by creating artificial programs as replacements of their natural programs, in terms of nature, are mutations. In nature, all mutants automatically go under the knife. Automatically means that if functioning of an individual falls outside the scope of his natural program, then nature automatically regards this as a threat to existence of the whole natural system, and the program of self-destruction automatically turns on in that individual. Probably, this is why lives of Homo sapiens in this civilization are so short. After all, according to physiologists, by nature, a human body is designed for a healthy, normal, and youthful life of a few hundred years. And this is confirmed by the ancient sources, for example, in descriptions of lives of biblical characters which most people are familiar with. One of them, Methuselah, lived 969 years according to some sources. Or is the Bible wrong? Artificial software is the root of absolutely any problem of an individual, as well as society as a whole. Software created by a human for himself and for other people can be compared to the most dangerous computer virus, which breaks the entire system, to a virus which there is not a single chance to get rid of, except for doing a factory reset, cleaning the disk called the soul of everything extraneous, everything that is not related to the natural software. And today this is possible since the Catalogue of Human Population, which is the collection of descriptions of human programs, was found and returned to civilization. Artificial schemes that people come up with as programs for life are unable to completely turn off their natural software. Simultaneous work of both natural and artificial software, first of all, makes the life of an individual very uncomfortable, as these two programs come into a conflict which does not end until death. Secondly, this is very similar to trying to sit on two chairs at once. And the result is the same. Trying to resolve this conflict, but not knowing his natural program, at some point an individual completely switches over to artificial software. The trouble is that when he succeeds, he dies right away. A person is alive only while his natural program works. Therefore, natural software of people, which is described in the Catalogue of Human Population, always corresponds to real people. And this is easily observable.